believe that the benefit of green is a long-term investment paradigm, and you're going to see the benefit of that. I think climate and the analysis around climate speaks very well to the risks are real, and you need to manage your portfolios to mitigate those risks. The technicals maybe slow down a little bit, I think is what you're referring to, so that you wouldn't see so much money being driven into the passive and active strategies around sustainability. But I think it's a long-term trend. I think it will be with us for decades and probably becomes normal course of investing. UBS was totally integrated with ESG factors into our investment process in 2018. I think by the end of 20 or 21, the rest of the industry will be the same. So this is now part of how we do investing, and it's a very important part because it does speak to live risks and how we account for them in the longer term.
But again, one of the highlights of the summer with all of the turbulence in financial markets is the having liquidity, and investors are paying a premium to have that liquidity. Green investments, ESG investments are relatively new to the space. So how do you balance it between investors wanting to do the right thing, but then also valuing that liquidity premium when the going gets tough?
Oh, look, one of the things that's come out of all of the work that's been going on in the sustainable space, I mean, we're about to celebrate our 25th anniversary since we founded the first global sustainable equity fund. There's a tremendous amount of innovation, and it's not just impact investing and project finance on renewables, long-term alternative strategies. There are a lot of strategies that can do well for the green economy, if you will, help push that transition. We have a passive strategy called Climate Aware, which is phenomenal. Well, it's obviously liquid, but it takes into account whether a company and anyone we're investing in is moving toward that path toward a lower carbon environment. So there are a variety of products available, some very liquid, some not liquid at all. But I think investors are going to have their choice in how they want to approach the market and do good with their funding, or focus just on the financial returns if that's the way they are. But I think sustainability is going to be part of both equations.
And one of the other big issues facing ESG these days is a lack of standardization, especially when it comes to the data, and also from a regulatory standpoint as well. Do you see things changing in that space in the coming months?
Oh, definitely. And we need the regulators, right? We need the regulators to insist that data is available. I think when Mr. Biden takes on, you'll see the regulatory shift in the United States away from some of the positions of the current administration in terms of demanding that disclosure, which makes our job as investors easier. And we can start to track progress, and we can, again, hopefully not look just backwards, but look forward. So the regulators have a key role. But there are a lot of issues attached to that, right? You know, the definition of sustainable, the definition of responsible is different things for different people. And you can care a lot about water, and therefore you don't want anybody running washing machines and washing dishes by hand, and so everything should be paper. And then, of course, the obvious side of getting rid of paper and landfills and all the effect of it. Social unrest and what makes civil rights depends where you are in the world. Everybody has a different opinion. So I think the regulators are walking a very, very fine line, and a very difficult one to navigate in terms of defining responsible, defining sustainable. And I think that will, again, the more data they can give us, the easier it is to come up with different definitions. But I think clients and investors are going to have to do their homework. They're going to have to read the disclosures. Regulators can demand better disclosures, of course. But before they put their money to work, they need to understand exactly how that money is being put to work and how those sustainable aspects of the portfolio are going to be executed so that they know the investment they're making is the one they intend to make.